Hi, Licking Heights. I'm Superintendent Kevin Miller.
And I'm the treasurer, Todd Griffith.
Very good. How you doing?
Great.
Great.
So good.
You know what? We had a snow day yesterday.
Yeah.
You know how many people told me thank you for the snow day?
I don't know. 3?
0.
Oh. Yeah.
0.
Okay.
Come on, folks. Be nice to the superintendent. Today we're going to walk you through 4 bills that just passed the Ohio House and Senate and now are on their way to the governor for his approval or veto. The combined effect of these bills, Todd, not just for Licking Heights, but for all public schools across the state of Ohio, could be really devastating.
Yep, that's right. They're bad. So we're going to go over the 4. We've been over them a few times now. The 4 that we're going to go over is House Bill 335, House Bill 186, House Bill 309, and House Bill 129. So we've gone through them. Combined, these are going to cost us millions of dollars. If you look over the next decade, it's going to be a lot, and it's really, again, pushing a lot of the burden back onto homeowners.
And so, as some people say, it's kind of like short-term property tax relief, but this is not long-term property tax reform. First up is House Bill 335. We've talked about this bill before, but for a quick overview, 335 addresses inside millage. That's unvoted millage that's created in the Ohio Constitution. Schools and local governments automatically receive this revenue. Nobody votes on it. It's a part and parcel of their funding plan. This portion of property taxes can normally grow slightly when property values rise, providing modest inflationary protection for schools and other public entities. House Bill 335 changes that. Todd, talk about that.
Even as property values rise significantly, inside mills grow. The growth of inside mills is capped at no more than the average growth of the U.S. economy over the last 3 years. And this is measured by GDP or gross domestic product. This cap.
So 335 caps the growth of inside millage.
That's right.
So even in times of big property tax valuation increases, it's going to keep the growth of inside millage limited to the last 3 years GDP.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so right now what this does to our school is we're estimating that it'll cost us about $280,000 a year based on House Bill 335.
So, I mean, that's a bill that it's reasonable to us that there has to be some kind of cap on the growth. Mm-hmm. But there's a price for us. It's a loss of about $280,000 a year.
That's right.
So that's a bill we said, okay, we can get behind that one. The second bill is House Bill 186. 186 mirrors House Bill 335, but it applies to the 20 mil floor and not inside millage. So remember, districts like Licking Heights that are on the 20 mil floor see tax rates reduced when property tax values rise. But when those rates fall below 20 mils, automatically the millage rate, effective rate, is bumped back up to 20 mils. So taxpayers can see an increase in their taxes after the county goes through a reevaluation year.
That's right. Yep. House Bill 186 will cap any annual increases tied to the 20 mil floor. And the cap basis is GDP. So as we said before, gross domestic product over the last 3 years.
So guardrails in place for inside millage now, and guardrails in place for the growth to the 20 mil floor when necessary, right?
That's right.
And when that was first introduced last spring, we thought that makes sense. We can live with it. That's reasonable, and that's a protection to our property tax owners and increases in taxes that were not sustainable for them. However, this fall, the House added a retroactive provision. The bill resets property values back to 2023 levels and starts all calculations from there. So that means legislators are asking districts to operate for the next several years using older property values that do not reflect recent growth.
Yeah. So according to the Legislative Services Commission, Licking Heights would lose nearly $11 million over the next 3 years as a result.
That's a huge loss for us.
Yep. That's right. And so there is a hold harmless clause which lessens the blow to Licking Heights in the first year. So for tax year 2025, the state will fully offset the district's loss, which will be about $3 million. So yeah, it's not ideal, but there is that.
But in 26 and 27, that hold harmless is no longer in play.
That's right.
So over those 2 years alone, we will see a projected loss of nearly $11 million. If it weren't for that hold harmless in 2025, it'd be closer to $14 million in loss. And folks, when you're talking about a district that runs on about a $55 million budget, a loss of $11 million in revenue is really harmful for our ability to offer services to our students.
That's right. All right, next up is House Bill 309. It gives the County Budget Commission, who are made up of 3 of the county officials, the power to roll back school district tax levies they think are excessive.
And those officials are?
It's the county auditor, it's the county treasurer, and it's the county prosecutor. Okay, so 309 gives these 3 members, who may or may not reside in our district, and ours don't, the power to override the decisions of the elected Board of Education. So, even after they've made their voices heard at the ballot box, like our community, those 3 people are given the power to override the entire community's decision and change our tax rates.
So, and I can say, as a superintendent and as a treasurer, we can tell you that we are proud of the careful financial planning we do at Licking Heights Schools on behalf of our voters. One of the goals of our strategic plan is to secure the necessary funds for our educational initiatives while minimizing the financial burden on local taxpayers. Because of that, we build a strong carryover, which serves as somewhat of a savings account so that we can safeguard against being forced to come to our voters for additional revenue. Yet under House Bill 309, even careful planning becomes a risk. A strong savings account can be used as an excuse to cut our revenue. Now, legislators might see this as tax relief. However, to us, it's punishment for being fiscally responsible, right? We're doing the right thing, and we could get punished for that by those 3 people on the commission. And as for you, the taxpayer, you might see it as government overreach. You might see it as an attack on local control and a disregard for your vote. That's something that you'll need to decide, but that's what House Bill 309 does.
Yeah. The 4th of 4 bills that legislators sent to the governor is House Bill 129, which takes away the district's ability to renew our substitute levy.
Which would be up for renewal in 2028, correct?
That's right.
And a major source of revenue for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Ultimately, the substitute levy has to be replaced with the general operating levy. House Bill 129 is important for 2 reasons. First, when we replace the substitute levy with a general operating levy, taxpayers will lose their state tax credit, which amounts to about $1.1 million in revenue coming from the state to help offset local property taxes.
So
that's each year.
Yeah, and that's $1.1 million, and their tax dollars going to the state house that now will not be coming back to them.
That's right. Yeah. And the second, it removes Licking Heights from the 20 mil floor, which takes away any revenue that might occur during a reappraisal. This would be an estimated loss of $2 million per year in revenue, and that loss would grow each year during reappraisals and updates. This could total tens of millions of dollars lost over the next decade.
These 4 bills represent the largest rollback of school funding tools in a generation. And while these bills might provide temporary tax relief, ultimately, most likely, they force bigger, more frequent levy requests from you, the taxpayer. These bills will result in, as Todd said, tens of millions of dollars in lost funding for schools, meaning fewer teachers, larger class sizes, slower response to growth and inflation, and a greater burden, not less, but a greater burden on local taxpayers, all while shifting key decisions away from the people who actually live in the community.
Yeah, one of 2 things will happen. We either have to cut class sizes, programs, significantly limit the student experience, or we'll have to seek more local revenue to support Licking Heights schools because the state has cut its share to a historic low of 32%.
Right. Remember, by the end of this 2-year budget, the state share will be 32%, the lowest in history.
Yeah, these bills ultimately impact the entire community. There's a strong correlation between strong schools and strong home values. Poor and overcrowded schools result in lower home values.
So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Strong public schools mean strong communities, which means a strong Ohio. On the surface, these 4 bills might seem favorable to taxpayers, and they could be in the short term. But from a revenue perspective and our ability to run our schools, they threaten the very things that make Licking Heights strong: stable funding, community support, and local control. What's at stake isn't just a budget line, it's your students' futures. You taking the time to watch these videos to understand what is happening at the State House and how it impacts our local community and is imperative. Is this so important that you're taking the time to do this? Because your voice is important in shaping the direction of our schools, our community, and our shared future. Hey, thanks for watching again, and thank you for your continued support of Licking Heights Schools.